All right, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Okay. My name's Joe Collins. I starred loosely in The Bump.
He's also my dad, if you didn't know. So you were our main actor, you and Felice, in The Bump. What was your experience being an actor? Have you acted before at all?
Um, Not acted. I did some I don't know, like some photo shoots back in the day, but
Oh,
never acting. So
that's funny. I didn't know that.
yeah, it was for a magazine. Actually, I take that back though. When we were in high school, we actually created a movie that we recorded ourselves, and so we did star in that. But I don't know if that counts. But
That's funny. What was your ex what experience? How'd you feel about being an actor in our film?
it was good. I liked it. It's interesting that it's only a few seconds of film, but we worked for a good 30 minutes plus trying to
Yeah.
get all the shots. So it's I don't know. It was interesting. I have a couple friends that work in Hollywood, and so I got to visit a couple film sets and stuff, and so it's interesting just to see it on a smaller scale, but it was fun. It was a little weird getting cursed at constantly, but aside from that, like it was all good.
She felt so bad. But yeah, it was interesting. Was it easier or harder than you thought it would be?
Um, I I think easier. I mean, I didn't have any dialogue or anything, so that's probably probably made it a lot easier.
That is true. So you don't have dialogue. You did a lot of face work. Are there any things you kept in mind in order to portray the feelings or your thoughts of the character?
Well, I think for me it was like I since I graduated college, I was always a manager and a leader, and so playing a role that you're kind of low on the corporate ladder and that you're not the boss and that you're trying to impress the boss like that, you know, I just had to kind of think about that. And, I think you guys did a good job of leaving little clues that this was person trying to, do right and impress the boss. And, whether it was correcting the name or just there was just little stuff in there. So it was good.
Okay. Glad you liked all our planning.
Mhm.
So you mentioned a little bit that your character was someone like low on the corporate totem pole, and that Felice, who's like a young female, is higher up on the totem pole. That was part of our social commentary, kind of like how this kind of scales, I guess, are flipping in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And I guess also in just kind of the higher education world as well. So do you think this is something that you've seen evidence of in the actual business sphere, like is applicable to the real world?
Somewhat. I mean, I think not not to the degree or the speed that I would like. So it's still, I've been in hundreds of corporate boardrooms and, it's still predominantly male and so there's not enough female leaders and there's certainly not enough female leaders of color. So I think it's changing, but it's still real slow. So
So slow process. I do think it'll definitely switch in upcoming years, if not just because master degrees and honestly college. Know UNC at least is like over 60% women, so I think it'll start to change a little bit faster.
I agree.
Yeah. So, what would you say? It's a fun question. What would you say is your favorite movie that you think's really well done, like with good writing, good cinematography?
Well, I don't know about the writing part. I would say, but the first thing that popped in my mind was Jurassic Park. So I I don't know that that's a dialogue wonder, but as far as cinematography and all that, like it's incredible.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that would be my top. If you want a dialogue one, then I'd have to think of a different one. But That's my number one.
That's a good one. They do have very good shots. It's very well planned. I've been saying recently my interviews that my new favorite is maybe Project Hail Mary.
Mm, yeah. Well, and we just watched Sinners, and that was like
Oh, really?
incredible. Oh God, it was amazing. Especially dialogue, like it was really good.
So that's something we talk about in class is like multiple conflicts, multiple storylines.
Hmm.
I keep meaning to watch Sinners, but I haven't. But I know that they have a lot of plot lines going on. Like there's the zombies, but there's also like kind of like the racial plot line, and there's also like the Irish
Yeah.
colonialism plot line. Like it's very complex.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things.
Yeah. I like it. I like movies that, despite the fact that I just said Jurassic Park's my favorite, I do like movies that have layers to it. So yeah.
Jurassic Park has there's them not trying to get eaten. There's the guy trying to steal the stuff.
Well, and the I guess the whole thing is like that guy, like has a god complex, and so I mean there is some layers there, but it's also T-Rex, and so yeah.
It's true. I guess like last question. If you were to make a film, what kind of film do you think you want to make? And also like what kind of role do you think you'd like to have in the creation of that film?
Um, I think, well, I think if I was going to make a movie, it would be the fantasy novel I wrote. So that would be the movie that I'd want to do. I love the genre, and I think for me, I'd probably want to direct it just because I think as a writer, like you have a vision of what things could be. And I think, being the director and the writer, like you could at least try to make your vision come to life as much as possible. So,
Ah, really fun.
mhm.
All right. That's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
Alrighty.